Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover if companies are really as golden as their quarterly reports make them sound. Today we are looking at Provident Financial Holdings Incorporated, and let me tell you their latest shareholder meeting report has some interesting votes. So Provident Financial Holdings Incorporated recently had their annual shareholder meeting. This is where the company basically updates everyone on what has been happening and shares the results of votes on important company matters. The big event happened on the 20th of November, 2025. This is a company that is incorporated in Delaware and trades on the NASDAQ stock market under the ticker symbol PROV. Instead of a big in-person gathering, they held a virtual meeting, which is pretty common these days. A lot of shareholders showed up represented by their shares. In fact, over 5.7 million shares worth of shareholders were there, which is a pretty good turnout representing almost 89% of the total votes eligible to be cast. This ensures they had a legitimate meeting with enough people to make decisions. Now let's get to the meat of it. The first major item was the election of directors. Basically, shareholders get to vote on who will lead the company from a board perspective. There were 3 seats open on the board and 3 nominees. So it was pretty straightforward. Shareholders elected Debbie H. Guthrie, Kathy M. Matthew Webb for a 3-year term. Looking at the votes for Debbie H. Guthrie, for example, 3.2 million votes were cast in favour. That may sound like a lot, but about 2 million votes were withheld. This means a significant portion of shareholders held back their support or voted against them directly. The same pattern is seen for Kathy M. Mempelak and Matthew E. Webb. It is not a resounding endorsement when nearly 40% of the votes are withheld. While they were elected, it signals some reservations from the shareholder base about these specific director candidates. Next up was the advisory approval of executive compensation, or as some people call it, the say on pay vote. This is where shareholders get a chance to voice their opinion on how much the top executives are being paid. And this is where things get a bit more interesting. For the executive pay proposal, a little over 2.7 million votes were cast in favour. However, almost 2.1 million votes were against it. That is a pretty divided outcome. While the proposal technically passed with about 53% of the votes in favour, it is far from a unanimous decision. When you have almost 40% of shareholders voting against executive compensation, it really suggests there is a disconnect or dissatisfaction with the pay packages being offered to the top brass at Provident Financial Holdings Inc. This is a clear signal that the board and management need to really listen to shareholder concerns about executive pay. Finally, the third item was the ratification of the appointment of their independent auditor Deloitte and Touch LLP. This is pretty standard stuff where shareholders approve who will check the company's financial books for the upcoming year. Unsurprisingly, this vote was overwhelmingly positive. Over 5.6 million votes were cast in favour of Deloitte and Touch LLP, with very few votes against it, demonstrating strong shareholder confidence in their auditor. This is a good sign that the company's financial reporting is generally seen as trustworthy. Overall, Provident Financial Holdings Inc. had a shareholder meeting with some key votes. While the election of directors and auditor ratification went through as expected, the close vote on executive compensation is a real talking point. It suggests that while the company might be ticking the boxes, it needs to pay closer attention to what its shareholders are saying about leadership pay. It is not a red flag necessarily, but it is definitely a yellow one that warrants a closer look at how executive compensation is structured. So that is our breakdown of Provident Financial Holdings Inc.'s latest shareholder meeting report. What do you think about that close executive compensation vote? Does it tell you something about the company's internal culture or its relationship with its investors? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings like this. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for more discussions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.